Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time, On Target morning show. We have a great show for you today. We're going to talk about some real estate investment trusts. We're going to go through some day trading, and the market's already in the green, bouncing off of what Trump tweeted out yesterday. So if you're checking us out on replay, go ahead and go to the bottom right and click on subscribe so you get instant notifications. If you're checking us out, if you want to check us out live, reach out to me at steve@ototnow.com. It's only $25 to join us. Hope you guys enjoy the show today. All right, good morning, everyone. Again, thanks for checking us out. All right, let's get to the main briefing. Here we go. Today, Wednesday, October 7th. All right, we're going to disclaimer up front. Remember, 8:10 is our new start time, CST. That from now on, you can count on that, a shortened presentation from what we've been used to. And today, let's see, standard disclaimer up front. This is an educational presentation, so you'd have to do your own due diligence before you act on anything you hear in this presentation. All right, the rest of it's a standard fighter pilot briefing, grow our money, protect our money, live off our money. For our investing topic of the day, we'll talk about COVID stimulus again because of Trump in the news, as well as some real estate investment trusts and whether or not those are good investments for you. Our question of the day is, how do I research a stock? So it's going to build off of yesterday, what we did, and a little bit more in detail as to what I look at out there if you want to do it on your own. All right, the flow is standard. Here are the 6 investments we're going to take a look at for the real estate investment trust. Our scoreboard, I didn't get a chance to put that together, but I want that for the intro. Again, minus an hour and a half. We were up half an hour off of a Monday, down 2 hours yesterday. So 3 out of the 4 trades have gone against us. So today we're going to make it up. So down 1.5 as it goes into today. We'll execute the market open and then go to the question of the day. All right, let's go up to CNBC and take a look at the futures and see where we are. All right, refresh real quick. Here we go. All right, up 2/3 basically of a percent across the board. When you look at Europe, Europe basically mixed, not a whole lot of movement. Same thing with China, basically a little bit in the red. Hong Kong and Australia up, and Korea up almost 1%. Here's our numbers from yesterday. As you know, Trump tweeted in the middle of the afternoon that he wanted to call the Republicans off of support until we get until after the election. So no stimulus. And again, the 3 things the economy's, the 3 things the market needs to go higher are stimulus of some sort, not a whole lot, but at least something to help out like airlines and folks that are really struggling out there. We need an election that has a result, and a clean result, meaning there's an election, the loser gives up, and we go on forward with the new president. It doesn't matter who it is, we just need a clean election. And then the third one out there is we need a vaccine by the end of the year, which I think is going to happen. So those are the things we are looking for the market. All right, bond up a little bit across the board. Oil did not hold the 40 to 60 range, and gold down a little bit. So again, it's not too late to buy those in to go into the election. All right, for our headline review this morning, this is, he walked that back earlier today, saying that, all right, there can be a smaller relief bill before the election, because it was wildly unpopular across both sides that he said anything to make it a political football, more so than it already is. So the walking that back, probably a smart move. Maybe he did it on purpose, knowing he'd walk it back. I don't know. Hard to tell with this president. All right, Powell spoke yesterday. More stimulus is needed. That speech went well. Here's a pro calling a 7% without a stimulus bill. I think so. Yeah, I think with the range that we'll look at the range here in a second. But yeah, I do think that is possible. Well, more airline aid is obviously what is needed out there because they're laying off folks and going to be reducing lines and everything like that here soon. Vice presidential debate coming up. I think that's going to be more entertaining than the presidential debate, which was kind of a crap show. But may actually watch this one, probably just catch the highlights, but I'm sure they'll come out swinging. There's a space SPAC deal. We talked about SPACs yesterday, M&TS. All right, that's it for the headlines. Let's go up to TD Ameritrade and take a look at where we've been. Okay, there's where we have been in the past year from left to right as far as the S&P 500. You see we've been holding that 320 to 340 range. Even after the move down yesterday, it wasn't all that significant as far as a move down. And as far as holding that range. So obviously it seemed like a big deal yesterday, but overall not worried about the market as long as we get some stimulus. I have to caveat it with that. When you go down and look at the last 5 days, here's kind of the move. There is where he made his announcement, and things went south from there. We've really recovered to back above that now that he's walked it back. So that is overall a good sign. And this is Palantir, sorry, but it's actually tracking the overall market. That's the big move down when he spoke, and then we sold off into the close, and we've kind of made back half of that, if you will. As far as the earnings, October 7th, take a look at the earnings that are out. There were some headlines this morning, none that I thought were significant. RPM up out this morning. We'll take a look and see how they did. All right, over to our investing topic of the day.
Is the Alphabet maybe worth more broken up than not? Stocks only up 10%. The sales are.
Turn Kramer down there. All right, get over to the right chart set up for day trading, and then over to the Street Smart Edge, which I'll need to type in for just a second to get our tickers in here. All right, so we're going to talk about Realty Income, which is the best out there. It's ticker symbol O. So look at that chart while I kind of populate the rest here. So O is Realty Income. It's commonly called the monthly dividend company. You can see that it pays out monthly. So that's a good deal if you're counting on the income. It kicks out about 4%, so enough to live off on, if you will, if your portfolio is large enough. And this is a sticky holding, meaning that people don't really sell this holding significantly. They tend to keep it over time. The next one, EPR, off to the right, that holds things like movie theaters, and it holds the real estate behind Topgolf. So that has been particularly challenging for lately, because without a vaccine, then this thing is basically just going to continue to sell off. So that's what you can expect. Again, I don't recommend it as an investment right now. There will be a time when it returns, and I plan on buying it kind of hand over fist at that point, but not until then, right? So, all right, let's take a look at the next one is Stag, which is industrial. It also pays monthly, so you can see the setup there as far as the monthly dividends as well. It's really bounced back and at least even to where it was pre-COVID, if you will. SPG is Simon Property Group. That's a mall. I would not recommend that now, and I would not recommend that on the bounce back if there is a vaccine, just because there's too much unknowns with the future of the mall. Our store is going to return. I don't know. That's a tough one. I think malls are going to be repurposed into distribution centers and other things out there. So too much unknown as far as SPG for me. As far as Maine, again, this is another industrial one, but this is focused on business development, real estate. So it's a little more speculative than Stag, which is right above it. So that's why Stag is recovered. That's far safer. Maine, more speculative. That's why it has not recovered. So I would stay away from this one for now. And then if you want them all, V and Q is kind of your answer. So which ones do I recommend out of this? I recommend Realty Income pretty much anytime you want to buy it. It's going to be fine over the long term. I recommend Stag right now, but I do not recommend any of the other three. If you're ETF only, you can load up on the V and Q. That's fine. All right, that's enough for the long-term topic of the day. Let's go ahead and take a look at some trades. I did not get a chance to get these out earlier, so we're going to look at them real time. And once I find the gapping, let's see. Must be looking by it. There we go. Gapping up and down is what I'm looking for my sheet. Again, we're looking for 5 to 10% up or down and taking our trade in that same direction. We do need some form of headline to go with it, which would be nice. So looking long, we have PSTI up 6%. And that's it out of the top line. Out of upgrades, we have JetBlue up 6%. To overweight, COTY up 5%. Upgraded to buy. That's it for that list. NSTG on the short side, one we'll take a look at. NSTG down 5%. I don't know that name. That is off of stock offering, so not my favorite thesis there. Let's see, CLSK, we talked about that yesterday. They're down 23% today. Won't touch that. GH is a stock offering, down 8%. Not my favorite. We'll take a look. DraftKings down another 5% on a stock offering, getting greedy. Not my favorite. SWTX stock offering. Don't really care for any of those. So not a whole lot as far as on the trading front. I'm going to check another Market Watch list here on another page. To look for things that are gapping up and down, the watch list. Again, looking for 100,000 shares in play. Don't see anything else stepping up on this list. All right, so let's take a look at these. Super quick, and I'll give you my recommendation, and we will get all set up. All right, the first one's the futures are in the green, so we'll take a look along PSTI, see if it's got the volume. Low volume, it does have a nice gap up, 10 to 1036. Zoom out, has plenty of room to go higher. Pluristim Therapeutic receives approval. I like that, so we're going to just have to wait for volume a little bit, but I do like it, so that'll be one of our top three. We'll see what JetBlue has. I'm leery to trade an airline long, so I probably just won't do it unless it's been crushed. Has the volume, 1151 up to 1222. Okay, I get it now. The airline's rebounding as Trump pushes for a $25 billion bailout just for the airlines. All right. We'll have to take a look at that as it does meet all of our criteria. And we'll look at other airlines here in a second. Cody, been beat up pretty hard, has the volume, nice gap, low price point. New CEO and an upgrade to buy. So 304 up to 317. I like this one the best out of everything so far. Be careful of the low price point. So looking at Cody first, JetBlue second, and then on the short side, these were all stock offerings, so we'll see if we can find anything else. NanoString doesn't have the volume. DKNG, was down yesterday, so it's just falling again off that stock offering. And then GH, I don't know what GH is. Guardant Health does have the volume. It is gapping down. 7 million at 102 a share. It's kind of gapping right to its gap, so not much to do there. See if there's anything else on the gapping down list. WTX. WRK, a little low, but reducing capacity. Let's take a look. And no volume, so might not have a short today to take a look at. All right, let's go over to the tabs. There's our DraftKings. We're American up 3.4. Westwater Resources long. There's plenty of volume. No headline, can't take that. Don't like that chart. Goodness, this thing went from $1.50 to 11.80. That must be a huge. Generally, that's a huge government contract, something like that, to get that big of a move. All right, none of these are up 5%. All right, KOLD. Nope, it's a trading vehicle. There's DraftKings, heart of the envelope. Guardant Health. Again, stock offering the 102. That's already made its move, so nothing on the downside there. Let's look back to the upside. Oil's a trading vehicle, not going to touch it. Natural gas on the move up. See what this is. It's gapping up a little bit. Almost has the, don't have a headline now. So tough to put that on there. And we've got 3 long, so we don't need to stretch for this one. Humanogen. 1420, 135, 1550. I like this chart. We'll put it on our list as the third one, HGen, because it meets all of our criteria. Even though we don't have a headline associated with it, it is definitely in play. There's our Piedmont Lithium long. See if there's any new headline there. I doubt it. Yep, there's not. Lithium's just all over the place. All right, 2.5 minutes to go. Let's set up. We're going to set up Cody, JetBlue, and HGen, all 3 of them long. Going over to Think Pipes again, you're going to see 4 screens. Have the SPY over here, 1 minute, kind of holding higher. Palantir from yesterday, if you follow that one, that went $9 up over 10 yesterday. So good news story there. Let's see, COTY, the number 1, backing out that. Look for an entry there in a second. JetBlue and the airlines are number 2. See enough there. And HGen number 3. Again, all 3 long, nothing short today. I do like this HGen from a chart perspective. So that's where we've been. I'm looking stops now for COTY. Going to need to be a pretty close stop. So we'll go for 10 cents on the stop for COTY. And on JetBlue, we'll go 15 cents for JetBlue. And HGen needs a little more room on HGen. We'll go 20 cents. We'll try to tighten those up if we can as we watch the open. All right, rechecking the futures real quick. Make sure, yep, everything is in the green. NASDAQ's up 1% now. All right, looking good. All right, 30 seconds to go. Welcome to the On Time On Target, a play of the day. You see 4 screens in front of you. We have the SPY on the left. That's the overall marker. We'll be watching that minute by minute. We have 3 long opportunities. Cody's my favorite on the left, looking at a 10-cent stop. JetBlue in the middle at a 15-cent stop, and then HGen on the right with a 20-cent stop. Again, we have a thesis for the 2 on the left. The one on the right's a little bit of an unknown, so we'll have to see what happens with it. With that, here we go. Again, trying to get a 10-cent stop in with Cody. Only a 3-cent move there in the first bar. This one looks like it moved right away. What's that? 15 cents up right away. We may have missed that. It's already out of the 10% range. So we would need this to come back in. There it came in a little bit. All right. This is more interesting now. That's at 5%. This is down at 4% from where it fell. Don't really like that big red bar there. All right, Cody, we can take it long at 319. Market's helping us out. And we'll use a 7-cent stop down to 312, which is low of the day. So we're going to wait for 319 long. And then 312 will be the stop. So it's a 7-cent stop. Just making a little note for myself right there while I look at the other charts. Not real thrilled about taking an airline long, so I think I'm going to pass on that. Again, waiting for 319 here on Cody. Switch to lithium. That's been all over the place. You see it whipping around, so it's got a lot more tradability, but that's too tough to call with that. That's a $1.30 stretch right there, and it's all over the place. So you would need a $2 plus stop in order to keep yourself in that trade. All right, so far we're not in anything. HGen's setting up a little bit. We'll keep an eye on that. We flipped that middle screen around a little bit. We're waiting on 319, so have your ready to go. We'll take that long if we can get it in the next couple minutes or so. PSTI is another ticker we're going to look at long. A little lower volume for taking that long, so I don't like it as much. Okay, that's it for the long. Still waiting for that tick up to 319 to get into COTY. If it doesn't hit it, when you see stops like this, there's a seller at 318. So it keeps hitting it and it can't go higher. So it's like sellers buying up the extra, buying up the extra. So once it goes through that, I do expect to see a jump. We shall see. Overall market up to 1.2%. So it's liking the recovery from yesterday. Let's check out a couple of the shorts. NSTG. Again, these were stock offering shorts, so probably not a whole lot of movement to them. Then DraftKings. Yeah, DraftKings kind of reversing, climbing back higher. Obviously, I'm in the name long, so I think it should. All right, and then the other one was GH, Guardian Health. And it didn't work out short at all. It's backing up significantly. You know, still down 5% on the day. All right, I wasn't looking. We did touch 319 there, so we'll wait for it again. If you're in the trade, good for you. Since I wasn't looking at it, I'm gonna wait to take it again. Climbing nicely. Check out another couple names that have been in play recently. And Luck and Coffee. Up another 6%, been a good news story. Almost to $5. So backing this chart out. From $3 to almost $5 in the past, 4 trading days. So gotta like that story. All right, 4 or 5 minutes in, looks like we may not get anything today. That's okay. We were set up and ready. Let's look at PLTR, Palantir, software firm that just IPO'd. If it stays above 10, that'll be a good sign. Check over, see what else is in play while we're waiting on our Cody. Apple's up, Micron's up. Boeing's up 2.5%. Now 3%. Kohl's is up 3%. All right, there's our Cody. Let's take it now. Taking it long with a 7-cent stop. Here's our arrow, so you know which way you're taking it. And 7-cent stop is below the range of the day. So we get all the way down here, so you can see that's safe. So it has to go all the way down below the lowest that it's seen today in order for us to get busted out of this trade. So 7 cents higher, 319, 326 is the first R point. And then above that, we'll draw them once it becomes more likely that it's going to hit it. So we're in this trade. We'll zoom into just that part. Again, the stop that you need to have in is down here. So it's been trying to go higher. There's been sellers here. I think it's exhausted that. We will see. All right, let's go ahead and look at the big board. Now that we're in this trade in COTY long, taking a look at what's on the move today. All right, again, overall in the market up over 1% across the board. NASDAQ up 1.3%. All right, have Luckin, it's up. Couple of psychedelic names. Series up, that's a name we haven't talked about. Series S, Series F, Sirius FM, excuse me. Netflix, Delta, there's your airlines starting in, PLTR, Nikola up a little bit. Kohl's, all right. Prudential was called out as one of Kramer's top like 10 stocks to hold through no matter what happens. So I have some of it. I'm not a huge fan, but hey, you got a good shout out, so that's good. Callaway Golf. PayPal's back up after its big move yesterday. Target, so lots of names. This whole front page is at least 1% up. So let's see what's on the red side. Not much. Clickstream, DraftKings down 6%. Ason, that's the other software, Asana, that came out not too long ago. So it's down. Treasuries are down just a little bit. These are all fractionally down. Even LCA, that's the name we talked about. So, all right. So again, mostly moving up. You can see from the SPY, here's kind of where we are on a 15-minute chart. So a nice strong bar up after a pretty strong move pre-market. All right, let's go back to our trade. Then we will check the we'll check the question of the day. So you can see everything there almost up to the first stop on the trade. Looks like one of those I will have to get back to you. Nice move up in Palantir here. I like that. So, all right, let's talk about the question of the day. Nothing in the chat. You guys are quiet this morning. No Q&A there. So let's get over to our question of the day, which is, how do I research a stock? Well, here's your one-stop shop is what I'm going to give you. So we'll leave our trade for a minute, go back down to Chrome, where how to be your own stock analyst, which kind of is what you're doing if you're picking individual stocks. And then there's two ways. You pick the investable thesis, which you know that's how I invest. You pick, say, this is going to be like electric vehicles. You're like, okay, I believe in electric vehicles. I think that's the way of the future. Maybe not all vehicles, but most. We're going to go away from gas dependence, and there's going to be a whole bunch more into the industry, blah, 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 blah. So then you look to invest in it. This is more if you're looking for value of something that's underpriced in the market. So we'll take a couple look at names. So analyst estimates, that's that upgrade and downgrade. So I'll show you where to find that. Fundamental analysis is where you will see all the different ratios. All those are fundamental. And then technical is more of looking at the chart. That's kind of like looking at clouds. You can see what you want to see. if you aren't careful. So you really have to look and see what the chart is telling you. First process, generally most folks will start with their brokerage and a screener, and you'll put in, here's the maximum PE ratio I want. I want a minimum of a 3% dividend, and I want, this is the max market cap. I want a stock that's below $100 so I can buy a bunch of it. You put all those into a screener, and then watch, screener will kick out so many names. If it's more than 100, you probably need to put more screening in, right, to focus that down. So that's really how you do it. And then once you get to your final list and you want to take a look at an actual name, you go to finviz.com is all you need. So we talked real estate investment trust today. We're going to put ticker O in there because that's what I talked about. So here you can see the chart. Now, I mentioned the technicals. This FinViz is good about putting trend lines and things on. You can see the moving averages. You have your 50-day, which is 2 months, think trading, which is a quarter, think trading days. 200 trading days, which is a year. So 365 out of that, you have about 200 trading days. And then 20 trading days per month-ish. So those are the moving averages that you can see in different colors. So there are plenty of strategies that go around the moving averages. I don't really use those, but I do look at them. Then you can see kind of the trend lines. It'll take your tops and draw a line. It takes another top line, drawing it this way, and then a bottom line. So you can tell from this that the stock is in an uptrend. However, it's narrowing, it's getting into a channel. And when things get into a channel, they tend to pop out aggressively one way or the other. So there's trades you can put around something like that. So that's what you can tell from the chart. You can generally tell high volume days like earnings tend to be a big spike in the volume there. When you come down to the actual ratios, again, dividend is what most people look at first. So 4.47, dividends 281. Again, they pay monthly, so it's what, 281 divided by 12. Not going to do that math, but 20 some cents a share. You've got your PE ratios that you look at. We talked about PEG ratio yesterday. Here's your earnings across the top. When you look at payout, look at this, red flag, right? Payout 188. So to pay out their dividend, they're paying out more than their free cash flow to support that dividend. So Realty Income is also issuing a bunch of bonds. So that's the way a lot of companies get around that, is they'll issue bonds to pay their dividend. Realty Income is known as the monthly dividend company. So if they cut their dividend, it's more sacred than the others, because if they cut their dividend, then they would lose their name. But they've raised their dividend every year for like 35 years. So they're not going to give up on that. Short interest, you can see over here. That's another thing that catches my eye. I don't really care until it gets above 5%. If it's above 10%, that means it's in play. There's a ton of people shorting it. And then you have all your performance ratios off to the right here as well. All right, down here you see the upgrades and downgrades. So that's what we're talking about as far as the analyst. Obviously green is good. Gray is reiteration of whatever it is. They may have changed the price target though. I don't put any weight into price targets. Those are just stone throws, and I can throw my own stones. I don't need them. And they don't make sense sometimes, but I do like the upgrades or downgrades. So when I look at this, I want to see more green. So you think, okay, from this is 2 years of upgrades. So all through March, March 25th, that was the day after, 2 days after the actual low. It didn't get downgraded at all going through the whole COVID sell-off, and even got an upgrade on March 25th. But then Citigroup caught up on April 7th. So now the market is already recovering, and then it goes from buy to neutral. So I don't know. Take a look at them. What I really like though is when folks reach out to me and say, hey, why is such and such moving today? Is I'll pull up in FinViz and I'll look for an article. So these are, time date. So October 6th, that's what, yesterday. So yeah, you'll take a look, and generally if they have a whole bunch of them from today, the stock's in play as far as news. You can go back really as much as you want there. And then down at the bottom, they generally have it. I will go to Ford, which is another one. We'll just show you what an undervalued company looks like. So here you have Ford. They suspended their dividend, low to no PE because their earnings are negative. They are projected to become profitable in the next quarter, which gives them a 9 PE, which tells us that they're undervalued. They don't have to worry about payout because they're not paying anything out. Very little short float, and decent short-term return. This stock has kind of recovered. So when you look at it, there's getting some health back. If they reinstated their dividend, that would be huge, but a little bit thin when they're just returning to profitability. So that'd be kind of a dumb move. But what I want to show you at the bottom is the directors insider trading in a good way, not bad way. They're not putting criminals on here. But when you think of C-suite folks, they can't just log in and sell their stock. They have to announce it and they have to publish it on a form K, I think K1, maybe not a K1, S1. But they have to basically announce this, and like 2 weeks out that they're going to sell or buy shares, right? So there's not the exact, enter of that trade. If they time it perfectly and it looks like insider trading, it's not. Well, that's like you calling the stock price 2 weeks from now. It's like, that's not callable, right? Now, if it looks right, if it happens to be a great buy, then then it is. But that's how they get around the insider trading sort of allegations, is by announcing that sort of stuff. So it's kind of good to know. I'm always interested to see. People sell for all kinds of reasons. We've talked about that before. They may need money for something else, but people only buy for one reason, and that's because they believe the stock's going higher. So if there are net buyers here in the C-suite, then I'm really looking hard at going, okay, well, they believe, and there probably is something coming, and I want to take a look at maybe getting into that name. All right, that's all I have for you for the question of the day. Let's check the futures, check the markets one more time. Percent, 1.35% on the NASDAQ. We'll go back to our trade. I'll catch you up on the trade tomorrow morning on how we did. But here's our trade for the day. So we took it at 319. We set a 7-cent stop. It's up at 1R. 326 plus 7 is 333. I don't know why that math was so hard. So we're up here at 2 R's. I would let it go till 3. Since we're down for the week and you just don't like being down, you don't want to go down anymore, you can take the lower stop and move it up to even. I'm not going to do that because I believe in the trade and I don't want to mess with the math. But if you are sitting there right now with a crap ton of this stuff, you can either sell half and keep the original stop, or keep all of it and just move your stop to 319. I would go 320 just by the time it hits it and there's slippage, and you're unloading a bunch of shares. Then you'll get a price range in here and it'll keep you in the green for the day. So just some day trading thoughts for you with that. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much. Hope you like the new format. If you don't like it, reach out and let me know though, so I can continue to make improvements, and we will catch you guys next time.